Have you ever sent a message to someone and then received no reply? At first, you don't think much about it. You tell yourself maybe they are busy, they will reply later. But after some time, you start checking your phone again and again, and without realizing it, one simple unanswered message can turn into so many questions in your mind. You start wondering, did I say something wrong? Are they upset with me? Do they not want to talk to me anymore? And the problem is, when we don't have an answer, our mind starts creating its own answers, and most of the time we imagine something much worse than the actual situations. But here's the important question: what should you actually do when someone doesn't respond to you? Should you message them again and again, or should you worry about it, or you should move, or simply you move on with your day? Today, let's talk about how to handle these situations calmly without overthinking and without losing your self-respect. Don't immediately assume the worst. The first thing you need to understand is that someone not responding doesn't automatically mean they dislike you or don't respect you. Maybe they are busy. Maybe they are dealing with something personal. Maybe they saw your message but forgot to reply. They don't know what to say. There can be, so many reasons. But the problem is that we actually don't know the reasons, but we still create a story in our head. So instead of thinking they are ignoring me because they don't like me, tell yourself, I don't know what's happening on their side. That simple thought can stop a lot of unnecessary overthinking. Give them some space. If you have already sent your message, give the person some time. You don't need to immediately send another message and saying, why aren't you replying? Did I do something, or are you angry with me? No need. Sometimes people simply need time. Giving someone space doesn't mean you are weak. It means you understand that everyone has their own life, responsibility and problems. You have said what you wanted to say. Now let them decide. When they want to respond, don't chase a response. This is something many of us struggle with. When someone doesn't respond, we want to do something to get their attention. We send another message, then another one, and then we start wondering why they aren't responding. But ask yourself, that am I communicating or am I chasing? There is a difference. Communicating means you reach out and express yourself. Chasing means you keep trying to get a response from someone who isn't responding. You don't have to keep proving that you are worthy of someone's attention. Your value doesn't increase because someone replies to you, and your value does not decrease when someone doesn't. Don't let your imaginations become your reality. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine you send a friend a message, hey, are you free today? I wanted to talk to you. And they don't reply. After a few hours, you start thinking, maybe they are upset with me. Then you think maybe they don't want to be my friend anymore. And after some more time, you have already created an entire story in your head. But what if they were simply busy? What if their phone was away? What if they were having a difficult day? You don't know. This is why we need to be careful with our thoughts. Don't turn an unanswered message into a story you have no proof. Focus on what you can control. You cannot control when someone replies. You cannot control what they think. You cannot control whether they want to continue a conversation, but you can control your reactions. You can choose to stay calm. You can choose not to overthink. You can choose to continue your day, and that's where emotional strength comes from, you know. Being emotionally strong doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care without allowing the situations to control your entire mood. Stop checking your phone every few minutes. Sometimes the biggest problem isn't the unanswered message. It's what we do while waiting for the answer. We check the phone, then we put it down. A few minutes later, we check again. And you know, we look at the last seen status. We wonder if they have seen our message. And suddenly our entire attention is focused on one person. Instead, put your phone away, you know, go for a walk. Watch something you enjoy. Spend time with your family. And you know, live your life. If they reply later, you can respond later. Your life doesn't have to stop while you are waiting for someone's response. You know, look at the pattern, not just one incident. Now, there is something important to understand. One unanswered message doesn't necessarily mean anything serious. People might get busy, they might forget. People have difficult days. But if someone repeatedly ignores you, never makes an effort to communicate, and only talks to you when they need something, then you should pay attention to that pattern. Don't judge someone based on one moment. Look at their overall behavior, because sometimes people are genuinely busy, but sometimes their repeated behavior is giving you an answer. And when you see a clear pattern, you don't have to keep making excuses forever. You can communicate clearly, but you also need to respect yourself. Give people space, but don't beg for attention. There is a big difference between giving someone space and begging someone for attention. Giving space sounds like maybe they are busy, I'll give them some time. Begging for attention sounds like, why aren't you replying? Please talk to me. Did I do something wrong? All these questions, you know, all these questions. The first one, protect your peace, and the second one can make you feel even more upset. So learn to step back. You can care about someone without constantly chasing their attention. Don't take everything personally. Sometimes someone's silence has nothing to do with you. We all have a different responsibility, emotions, and problem. You may be having a normal day while someone else is dealing with someone, you know, with something you know nothing about. Before you take their silence personally, give them the benefit of the doubt. But remember, there need to be a balance. Don't assume the worst immediately, but don't ignore repeated disrespect either. Care about the people, but don't lose yourself trying to get their attention. You don't need everyone to respond you. This is something we slowly learn as we grow. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will agree with you. You know, not everyone will want to talk to you. And that's okay. You cannot control how everyone treat you, but you can control how you treat yourself. So if someone doesn't respond, instead of thinking, you know, something must be wrong with me, tell yourself, I reach out, I did my part, now I'll continue with my life. That's a much healthier way to look at it. What if they finally respond? You don't have to reply with anger. You also don't have to, you know, pretend that nothing happened if their behavior genuinely bothered you. You can simply communicate calmly. You can say, I was wondering if you were okay because I didn't hear back from you. That's it. No unnecessary drama, no accusations. just honest communications. And sometimes a calm conversations can clear up something that you were overthinking for days. And the most important lesson, so at the end of the day, our peace should not spend on someone's reply. You spend your entire day waiting for one person to respond. You are giving that person too much control over your emotions. You know, your time is valuable for you, your energy is valuable for you. You know, keep taking care of yourself. If they respond, great. If they don't, you still have a life to live. And sometimes the best response to silence is not another message. Sometimes it's simply stepping back and continue with your life. So the next time, if someone doesn't respond to you, pause before you overthink. Don't immediately assume. Don't chase. Give them some space. Focus on your own life, and if their behavior becomes repeated pattern, have enough self-respect to recognize it, because healthy relationship need effort from both sides. You should not always be the person trying to keep the conversations alive. And remember this, someone's lack of response does not decide your vote. You decide how much importance you give to it. So thank you so much for watching. If this message connected with you, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And remember, sometimes protecting our peace means growing when to stop waiting for an answer. So I'll see you in the next video.